These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, it's these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, it's these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Whenever I leave here, it hurts me so, with tears in my eyes, oh I hate to go. There ain't no work, and the kids need new clothes, the bills need paying, so I must go.
These rocky shores where I call home, where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores, it's where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they're home to me.
Where did it all go? The life I once had on the ocean's mighty road. My tears in my eyes and my head in my hands, away from my family, I hope they understand.
That is these rocky shores where I call home, it's where my heart longs to be. Whenever I roam, yes, these rocky shores where I long to be. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me. Yes, these rocky shores, they are home to me.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include: a public meeting was held concerning the local fish plant, the volunteer fire department is in need of members, Tuesday was nomination day for the Burgeo Town Council, I spoke with MHA Bill Ramsey. These stories, plus community events, BBS Playbill, Off the Rack, and more coming up in just a moment.
I'm Bruce Coburn. 10 years ago in Nepal, I saw how illness and death occur when there's no safe drinking water, how crops can fail without irrigation. Today, with assistance from USC Canada, progress is being made. Clean drinking water is now a reality. Irrigation trenches have been dug and sanitation improved. Help the people of Nepal build for tomorrow. Support USC Canada. 1-800-5656-USC.
After awarding the 67 positions through the post-tags program, the Burgeo Diversification and Development Board have decided to withdraw their sponsorship for this program. Sam Morgan, Development Officer with the board, explains why.
Hello, I'm Sam Morgan, and I'm here to do this emergency broadcast on BBS reluctantly, but as directed by the Board of Directors for the Burgeo Diversification Development Board. I've been directed to do it. There was an emergency meeting called today at 1 p.m. by the board, and it's to deal with the 3 projects that we had approved for the community under this fishery restructuring and adjustment measures. Basically, the projects were the ski trail project, the ball field, and the hockey rink. This was going to employ 67 persons. What's been happening is, well, we went through just for a quick, we went through the whole process of getting the positions applied, approved and applied for, and people did apply for them, quite an enormous number. What happened was the board met on 2 or 3 different occasions to go through the applications and to do the selection process. What's happened since that is that the last 2 days, really, there's been a bombardment of complaints and a lot of insults and accusations and being thrown around the community. People are saying that the hiring process was wrong. It was done wrong by the board of directors. The board of directors didn't know what they were doing. They're saying it discriminated against certain people. There's even threats that there's going to be protests to prevent the 67 people from beginning work on Monday at the respective work sites. And all I can say is that it's a bit unfortunate, but I mean, with the pressure that comes with being a volunteer, and I mean, it's one thing for me to have to endure complaints and phone calls, but that's a part of my job and I get paid. But the volunteer board of directors that we have, they are just that, volunteers. And I mean, they've worked to try and identify these projects that would, so we could get them in the system quickly and try and get people back to work with the mandate. And the board of directors done what they thought or what they could do given the criteria they had to deal with. And as a part of the criteria, priority first went to people that came off before August 29th, 1998. It wasn't just the people that came off in May, that could be people that came off back in 95 if they were a former TAGS recipient. So the directors done that, and they selected whatever they could of people that were former TAGS recipients. Now that could mean that in the one case there could be somebody that just came back to town, but if they were a former TAGS recipient before August 29th and they met the criteria, then the board was obligated to hire these people. Other things that have happened is they've been told that, I mean, they shouldn't have been doing it, that there's a conflict of interest, there's threats of phoning the Human Rights Commission, there's threats of going to the CBC, threats of phoning the Department of Labor. I mean, so... Hello, I'm Sam Morgan, and I'm here at BBS to do yet another broadcast. This one will be a bit shorter. The Burgeo Diversification Development Board met 10 o'clock this morning, Friday morning, and we discussed the outcome of the meeting last night as, I guess, a second meeting to the meeting that Bill Matthews and Mayor Alistair Hand called. Once they finished discussing the fish plant issue, they then asked what people were interested to stay behind and discuss the jobs under these projects that were discussed yesterday. And the consensus at that meeting seemed to say to the board that, listen, let's go back, take these projects, let's sponsor them again, and hopefully let's work on trying to develop some more to get some extra jobs. But ultimately, the consensus seemed to say to the board, we're backing you, we support what you've done, the decisions you've made. So I guess to make in short, the board met this morning and they discussed the outcome of the meeting, and they've decided that they will again become the sponsoring body for these 3 projects, and in effect the 67 jobs that were scheduled to start on Monday of next week. So I guess what I'm saying to people is that if you're going moose hunting, for example, that you should be back for Monday morning at 10 o'clock at the community center for a meeting to discuss the projects. And I guess the board just wanted me to reiterate that they're going to have another go at it, being the sponsoring body. But obviously, I mean, if the harassment continues, that then they'll have no other choice or no other alternative but to do what they did and sort of withdraw from it. So I'm hoping with that, the jobs are scheduled to begin Monday. As I said, it'll be 10 o'clock Monday morning at the community center for the 67 people that were called. And it'll start with a meeting. So with that, I guess, I hope you have lucky hunting to those that are going moose hunting. Other than that, we'll see you on Monday.
MP Bill Matthews and Mayor Alistair Han held a public meeting on Thursday evening to discuss the future of the local fish plant. The gymnasium of A.J. Matthews School was a busy spot on Thursday evening as over 265 people gathered to express their concerns with respect to the local fish plant to Mayor Han and MP Bill Matthews. The purpose behind this meeting was to provide the general public with an opportunity to express their concerns with respect to the local fish plant. At the wishes of those present, we shut off our cameras to give the public a chance to raise their concerns. Following the meeting, however, I spoke with Mr. Matthews about his view of the meeting.
Very pleased with the meeting, very pleased with the turnout. Wanted to come here, discuss the fish plant situation with the people face to face, tell them where I thought it was. I'm disappointed that we haven't progressed more than we have with reactivating the fish plant. And the people themselves, it's their problem, it's their community. I can only work with them. So really they decided tonight that they want to strike a committee to go meet Mr. Barry, to see if indeed he has plans for the plant and to get a straight answer from him. And in my view, it's taken too long. Out-migration here is just terrible. People don't have any income. We see the frustration amongst the local people here on issues such as who's hired and who's not hired on the employment programs and projects. So I just didn't feel comfortable unless I came here tonight and met the people and told them how I felt, and that's what I did. And I'm pleased with the way things went.
Okay, so it looks like as another sideline to the meeting that was originally scheduled, it looks like the issue has hopefully been solved with respect to the 67 job positions as well. It
looks like that, and I'm glad that I have no problem talking to the people about whatever they want to talk about. I had some inkling that there were some problems and some concerns, frustrations again, because 67 jobs when you got about 300 looking for work, that creates frustration. But HRDC set criteria that those who had expired, exhausted tags prior to August were to be first hired. And the Diversification and Development Board, in my view, followed that criteria and did the best they could under very difficult circumstances. When you're in a community like this where so many people want work, there has to be some basis for selecting people. And in my view, they did the best they could, but obviously the people were frustrated that they were not employed. They expressed that frustration, but hopefully tonight, as a result of this meeting as well, that issue is resolved, and hopefully those people will be going to work on Monday or whenever.
Okay, sir. So will you be involved in this committee that they are talking about forming?
Well, as I told the Mayor and the committee tonight, if any time that they have a meeting with Mr. Barry or with any level of government, if they want me there, I'll be there if at all possible to get there. It's their call. If they think I can be of benefit to them by being at a meeting, I'll certainly be there because I want to get the people of Burgeo back to work. And I've been the MP for a year. I'm not satisfied with the way things have gone, and that's why I came tonight, and I'm really delighted that the people came out and that they took the decision that they did, because we have to get a straight answer. If there's no future with sea freeze, then we have to look for a future somewhere else. I'm hoping there's a future with sea freeze. The way it's gone, I'm not sure that there is, but at least let's clear the air on it, so at least we know if we got to go out and market the plant and market the workforce and market the town and look for a new operator. At least we'll know that if there's no future with sea freeze. If there's a future with sea freeze, let's get on with it, is my message.
It seems as though most people were still quite optimistic, especially given the last meeting when the date was set for August the 17th. But it seems like when that date came and passed and no meeting, I think sea freeze lost a lot of its clout from the people, especially those here tonight.
Well, yes, because all of us, myself included, attached a lot of priority and importance to that meeting. I mean, we were to meet on August the 17th with homework done from the various government departments and agencies. The only question that was to be left to answer on August 17th was there Argentine in the water? If the Argentine was in the water, then everyone was to have their work done, so we would have moved forward with reactivating the plant. No meeting on August 17th, I guess because there had been no survey work, test fishery done on Argentine. Now I hear there's another meeting scheduled for late October. So from my point of view, I was not content to go till October deadline, then a few days before that fine there was a November deadline, then we're into 99, still nothing happening. So that's why I'm here, and I'm hoping things will still work out with sea freeze. But if it's not going to, we have to have a very straight answer from Mr. Barry, and then we have to go look for someone else to show an interest here and package and promote the place. And time is passing by. Out-migration, the town is strangling really with out-migration and unemployment. And I just didn't feel comfortable to let it go on any longer without coming here and trying to help bring it to a head,
Okay, well, it's great to see you organize the meeting. It was great to see the turnout we had here this evening, and we'd like to thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Work began on Tuesday to carry out renovations on the local schools due to a fungus being identified in air quality results earlier this year. We took our camera to the primary wing of A.J. Matthews School earlier this week, but we were told that we were not allowed to enter the building. The area is contaminated and is being treated the same way an asbestos site would be treated. No one is allowed in the area without being properly dressed, complete with face mask and gloves. In addition to the work that is being carried out inside the school, there is also work to be done underneath the school. The contractor told us that he will allow us into the building later next week, once all the material that has to be removed from the building has been removed. But for now, it's authorized personnel only in the primary section of A.J. Matthews School. With more and more people leaving Burgeo to find work, or at least to get their hours to qualify for unemployment, the Burgeo Volunteer Fire Department is finding itself in a bit of a predicament. Speaking with me in the studio today, I have our Mayor, Mr. Alistair Han, and Fire Chief Glenn Han. Welcome to our studio.
Thanks, Dave.
Glenn, I understand that right now the fire department has a somewhat serious situation on its hands. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Well, yes, Dave. Well, I guess this coming weekend, I guess, the start of the moose hunting season, and as the start of the weekend, I guess basically that I'm going to start losing some of our members due to the fact they're going to be looking for leaving town to go and look for work. So what the situation that we're getting into now is on any given day, with the fishery open, that the town can be down as low as 12 members for firefighting. Hopefully we won't get a fire, but I mean, fire got no particular time to start, and when it starts, I mean, we have got to try to do what we can. In the past, we've had 30 active members, but like you say, the downturn in the fishery and that, I mean, the members is going looking for work, and like I say, on any given day that we're going to be down at least 12 members. That I know is basically that's pretty well in town, but I mean, some of those fellows can be gone to Corner Brook or whatever, I mean, for whatever reason, and it's sort of going to leave us really short. So what we're looking at is asking the general public out there if they wouldn't mind to come and give us a hand in fire protection of this community. Because I mean, I don't want to lose a child or a parent or whatever the case may be, no, you know, any more than anybody in the community. But I mean, if we don't have the firefighters to respond to a fire, I mean, we can only do the best we can. So what we're asking is, if there's anybody in the public that would like to give us a hand, say at least at Christmas. A lot of our fellows is leaving now. Hopefully we'll be back, say, around Christmas time, and they will pick up their regular position back in the fire department. There might be some fellows out in the community that wouldn't mind to come, say, and give us a hand on a short-term basis, but wouldn't want to be in the fire department, say, as a full-time member.
Okay, so what you're looking for right now is short-term members to fill in while these other members are away working or whatever.
Yes, that's what that's what I'm looking at, Dave. Looking for some short-term members, and probably some of those fellows out in the public that are not that have not been in the fire department over the years. If they get there, probably in time to come, if some fellows retire or resign, whatever the case would be, probably like after being there, they probably wouldn't mind to join the fire department and give it a try.
Okay, Mayor Han, the fire department has served Burgeo for many years now. How does council feel about a lot of our fire department members having to move away or having to leave the community to find work, leaving the fire department in the situation that it's currently in?
Well, Dave, it's not a situation that we particularly enjoy. As far as the fire department now, as far as the council, I haven't had a chance to bring this situation before council. Glenn approached me a few days ago, and he asked if I would do this, what we're doing right now, if I would assist him, and I said certainly I would. But it is a serious situation, and I don't mean to try to create any panic in the town or anything. You know, I still think there's a pretty good handle on things as far as our fire protection is concerned. However, I agree with Chief Glenn here. You know, he's got a total of 30 members on his in the fire department, and 5 of those are fishermen. And as you know, at the present time, the fishing season is open, and so on any given day, you could have 5 people taken off the list there. He's got 6, which is gone or will be gone by the end of this week, looking for jobs or working apple picking. He's got 2, that's one was gone, another one's considering going probably by the end of this week to Calgary. And there's 5 more which is taken up with Coast Guard, Wildlife, RCMP, truckers and so on, and these people, you know, there is a good possibility that these people could be out of town. So, you know, out of his 30 people, he's only got 18 that he can depend on. And then, like he did say, on this weekend, well, undoubtedly a few of those are going to be out moose hunting and so on, and he's concerned that he's going to be left with a very small crew, and I am too. So I certainly support him and think that there should be enough young people out there, not really young people. You don't have to be real young, but you know, in order to be a fireman, you've got to be in fairly good health, and can carry this burden probably up onto Christmas. Is that what you're looking at, Glenn?
Yes.
You would expect some of these people back again by Christmas, and
Yes,
you know,
sir.
and if people want to stay on the fire department after having a touch with it, well, maybe that's possible. But in the meantime, he does need an interim supply of a new blood to try to protect the town for the next 3 to 4 months. Is that about what you're looking for?
Yes, because I mean, if that fish plant don't open, I mean, this could be an ongoing thing. I mean, people going looking for work. So, like I say, if there's anybody out in the community that would like to give us a hand to help protect this community, we would really appreciate it. I mean, they can give me a call and leave their name if I'm not home, and I'll certainly get back to them and certainly see what, you know, we can get an arrangement to come to the fire hall and go over a few of the things that, you know, you would be required to do. I don't know, I guess there's a lot of people before they joined the fire department got this fear of being put into, say, a house if there was a fire tonight and you are a new member. A lot of them probably felt that they would probably be the first ones to go in, which is wrong. What we do, we use our senior members, say, to go in. They will be the headline fellows. I mean, our newer members more so help, say, tow the fire hose and whatever. We don't put nobody into danger. I mean, I'm a volunteer. I've been there for 19 years. I mean, we've had a good bunch of fellows, and I mean, I don't want to end up, you know, say, by putting someone new on the fire line sort of thing and end up losing somebody. I mean, this is only voluntary, and you know, all we can do is hope for the best and hope that we don't get no fires. But like I say, if fellows mind to come and give us a hand, I mean, I wonder what you learn.
So what you're really looking for now, then, Glenn, is manpower.
Yes.
More than anything, you feel that you'll have enough to handle the pumper and to use breathing apparatus if required and so on. That wouldn't be required of those new volunteers.
No, not at the present time. No, but like say over the fall, after the weather starts getting cold, I mean, if once our trucks is not taken out after basically when it starts freezing, we don't take the trucks out unless there is a fire in the town. We do smoke drills and what have you. I mean, those members that's filling in, I mean, they're more than welcome to get a practice with the breathing apparatus. And like I say, another couple, the 4th of October is Fire Prevention Week. Like I say, on any given day, we're down that many members. I mean, we normally carry out fire drills at the schools and we have children come over to the fire hall and stuff like that. I mean, if we don't have the manpower to help, I mean, we're just not going to be able to do those things. So basically what I'm pleading, I guess, to the people of this community to come aboard and give us a hand and see what we can do to help keep this community fire-free.
Okay, so if anyone is interested, as you said earlier, they can contact you, give you a call, and...
Give me a call.
Okay.
I got 4 or 5 names now that some of the firemen have spoke about to their friends and what have you. I got 4 or 5 names now of people that have, some former members and some new people have already gave me their names to, showed interest that they would certainly do what they could do.
Okay, I guess it's a service that no one wants to utilize, but very thankful that it's there if you happen to need it. So.
That's exactly. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Exactly.
Well, Dave, this is the way our town is going now, and I think everybody has got to start taking on some responsibility for the town. Population is declining. Services is still required. Whether there's 100 people lives in this town or 1,000, you still got to have firefighting. So the day of saying leave it for the other fellow to do is over, and that the people that's here, I think they got to stand up. That's if they want to stay in Burgeo, if they want to keep Burgeo, want Burgeo to be a viable town and so on, then there's got to be interest shown and start picking up some of the burden of keeping the town going. That's my plea to the people anyway.
Okay, well, we'd certainly like to thank you both for coming in and speaking with us, and we wish you the best of luck.
Okay, Dave, thanks to me.
Stay with us. There's lots more of This Week in Review still to come.
Human survival depends on the Earth, on our planet's astonishing fertility. But what happens when the soil dries up and blows away? On Canada's prairies, on Africa's plains, precious topsoil is disappearing. Hi, I'm Bruce Coburn. Almost a third of the Earth's land surface is threatened by drought and desertification, and that means the lives of 1 billion people are at risk. The Earth can heal itself, but it needs help. People in developing countries are reclaiming their damaged land, restoring its lost fertility with the help of Canadian organizations like USC Canada. Worldwide, countries including Canada are starting to collaborate in the fight against desertification, working to ratify an international treaty. It's our future that's at stake. Together, we can bring the harvest home. Call 1-800-5656-USC.
Tuesday was nomination day to fill 2 vacancies on the Burgeo Town Council. The Town Hall was open for nominations from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Tuesday for those wishing to nominate fellow residents to fill the vacancies on the Town Council. A total of 1 nomination was received. Mr. Norm Marsden will fill one of the vacant seats on the Council by acclamation. We pass along our congratulations to Mr. Marsden. Council has a few options to fill the remaining seat. They can wait a while and note another nomination, or they could appoint someone to fill the vacant seat. This is a matter Council will have to look at during their next meeting. MHA for the District of Burgeo and Lapoille, Bill Ramsey, was in town on Tuesday and Wednesday of this past week, meeting with constituents who wished to speak with him. I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Ramsey on Wednesday afternoon. Speaking with me in studio today, I have MHA for the District of Burgeo and Lapoille, Bill Ramsey. Welcome to our studio, Mr. Ramsey. Can you tell us the nature of your visit to Burgeo today?
Well, I came down to do a constituency clinic a couple of days at the town hall, and meeting with a lot of the constituents who wanted to meet with me about various issues and topics that are of concern to them, and also to have some discussions with town officials and the economic development officer and others that are involved in a lot of the ongoing programming that's coming up that a lot of people are talking about here now.
Okay, so what were some of the major concerns that were brought forth?
Well, I'd have to say, first and foremost, the major concern on everyone's mind and my own is the future of the fish plant for Burgeo. The questions that have come up about the plans being made by Seafreeze Foods, what they intend to do as far as the quota of Argentine and their plans for the facility. There were promises made by Seafreeze to the people here about things that they had in mind, and about the plans for future operations at the plant, some of which have not yet even materialized. Very concerned about that. We're disturbed. The provincial government, I talked to John Efford about it, and as the minister, and the provincial government is very disturbed and concerned that the crab license which we provided for the community of Burgeo and to the Seafreeze plant has not been utilized. It hasn't been acted upon. There's been no effort made to utilize the crab operation here. Other places that have crab license granted have seen it benefit their communities tremendously. And a crab license is not, for every community. There are many communities out there who've been crying out for them and have gotten nowhere in trying to seek them, but there are many who have gotten them even recently and are doing quite well. We only had to look across the water at Ramya, where a very strong effort is being made by a business person over there to benefit the people of that community and put people to work. And even though it's a small operation, it's putting people to work. And we need some hope about what is happening with Seafreeze. And I'm very concerned. I've called. They had a meeting scheduled for August 17th that didn't go ahead. They've now just suggested a date of October 17th. It concerns everyone in the community. A lot of people have a cynical view of it, thinking that maybe nothing will ever come of it. I hope that's not the case, but I can understand everyone's concern and being upset about what is the future. People are making life decisions with the conclusion of the TAGS program and the many options that are being put forward to them about their futures. They need to know every possible piece of information about that fish plant and what Mr. Barry's and Seafreeze's plans are for Burgeo.
Okay, I understand you've also been involved in meetings with respect to the proposed new education recreation complex for Burgeo?
Yes, this was an idea which, back when Burgeo was applying for an arena a number of years ago, it was difficult to get an arena funded at that point by itself through the infrastructure program. I was hopeful, but because of the size of the community and the economic circumstances and everything, there was always a difficult time getting approvals. So we discussed it with the school board, as most people are aware, and they were willing to come forward with a proposal to combine all of the different elements of a recreation and school complex as one. We felt this had a lot of merit, and we decided that we'd entertain the proposal. I've discussed the proposal with Minister Grimes in the Department of Education, also with Minister Art Reid, who's responsible for the funding of recreational facilities through the town, and also have had brief discussions with Oliver Langdon, the member for Ramya and the other side of the district, because Mr. Langdon's, some of his people would be involved, I guess, in use of the facility. We're hoping that the policy will come out soon, that we'll see something like this built. It's under consideration now. Cabinet is meeting in the next couple of weeks on a way to fund this kind of facility. This would be the first that combines both recreation and schools in a single type of entity. What it would do, hopefully, is replace the two existing schools, cut down on the cost of maintenance, future maintenance and that on those, with a brand new facility. Be more energy efficient, of course, because new build facilities generally are more energy efficient. The quality of air and those things wouldn't be in question as it is now in a lot of the schools throughout the province. And the provision of much needed recreational facilities for the people here in Burgeo and the surrounding area. There are many communities that have access to recreational facilities, rinks, etc. People of Burgeo are 100 miles away from any of that, and that's a distance, I think, that works in our favor to try to get this kind of proposal approved. I know that the way of getting this approved I'm hopeful that government will be able to consider it before Christmas. We're working on it now. I'm hoping that they'll be able to give it the total view of it in a number of weeks, and be able to report back to the people at that point as to what we expect. We were also hoping that some of the federal funding would potentially be there for this kind of facility. That's something we're exploring with the federal agencies involved to see if, in fact, that has any possible chance of success. I talked to the MP, Bill Matthews, yesterday, mainly about the fish plant issue, and I understand that he's coming down for a meeting Thursday with him, and Mayor Han are going to meet with the people here. Due to previous commitments, I won't be able to be here for tomorrow's meeting, for the Thursday meeting, but I do expect to have Minister Efford come and visit the area within the next 2 weeks to discuss the same issue. As I did mention, we have control over licensing, and that is really the element that we can help bring to the table on behalf of the people of Burgeo. A crab license is granted for the people of Burgeo's benefit, and not just for an operator to take or move anywhere, anything of that nature. And we are hopeful that Bill Barry will see fit to put the people here to work, because he has other operations that he's opened and started since the Burgeo discussions have been ongoing, since the plans have been made for here. And we think he needs to make a firm commitment to the people of Burgeo, and that's something that it ties in also, like the reason why I mentioned it in response to your question about the recreational complex. We believe in the future of Burgeo. The government of Newfoundland and Labrador believes that Burgeo has a future, in not only in the fishery, but the people who live here will have a future for themselves and their children. And it's by making the commitment of building a new school facility here, if we're able to do that, sooner rather than later, by putting a new recreational complex as a part of that, we're showing the people here that we believe in the future of this community, that the people do have a future in rural Newfoundland, in places that are isolated by many miles from other locations. And that will also show industrial operators such as Seafreeze that Burgeo's here for the long haul, and I think that will benefit everybody in the community, and hopefully we'll be able to have the two things looked at, not as issues at the same time. They are very different, but one, of course, demonstrates the government's commitment to the community, and the other one, we need to get a company that's operated here to demonstrate their commitment to the people in the community as well.
Okay, Mr. Ramsey, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
Well, just that I've enjoyed meeting with people here. People are really hurting, Dave. People are making decisions on their futures. It's difficult. It's the kind of difficult situation that many people will never have to face. But the people of Burgeo are experiencing a very rough period in their history right now. The money can only do so much. When you talk about people being displaced from their homes, people who are making a decision to move, and then not only that, the people who are moving are affected and impacted directly, but everyone else in the community is hurt by that. There's less ability to provide fire protection. I know the fire department is losing firefighters every other day, and like some each week they know of another person leaving, and it's really difficult to face. It's not easy trying to provide solutions, or not easy to there is no magic solution. It's a matter of listening to people sometimes, hearing their concerns, and it's not something that I envy. I hope that our commitment to the community in getting this school and community complex approved, if we're able to get it approved, and I'm very hopeful that we will. That, along with holding businesses here, such as Seafreeze and other potential operators that we hope to look at as far as the future goes for different business opportunities. I've had some inquiries from companies that are in the production of aquaculture, in one large mussel company from Massachusetts, and I haven't mentioned this publicly anywhere else, but they have an interest in southwestern Newfoundland. I'm trying to get them interested in Burgeo. for a place for doing some production. They do value-added production of mussels, and there's lots of aquaculture potential along the south coast. So the way I look at it is it's going to take a lot of hard work on behalf of those people who are involved in positions of authority with the town council, with economic development, and generally volunteers. And it's not going to be easy. It's one step at a time. But I'm hopeful that we'll be able to achieve some significant results for people here in the next few months that will certainly at least give some hope that there is a solid future here, and that the government of Newfoundland and Labrador is committed to the people of Burgeo.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for coming in and speaking with us today.
Thank you, Dave.
I spoke with Barbara Barter, principal at St. John Central High, to compare the teaching allocations and enrollments of this year with that of last year. Ms. Barter, things seem to be back in full swing here at St. John Central High again. How is the enrollment here at the school this year compared to June?
In June, our enrollment was 211, and at the present time, as of today, we have 189. Now, I don't think that that's including our fourth years that have come back and may be here for the whole year. But from grade 7 up to level 3, we're registering at this point in time 189.
Okay, so how are the teaching allocations as compared to last year, resulting in the declining enrollment?
We had very little change in teacher allocation for this school year. We still have 10 regular teachers, as we did other years, and we have 2 teachers who are designated for special needs, and that's the same as it has been in other years. The different lies, I guess, in our hearing impaired itinerant has taken up a position with another district, and our guidance counselor is gone. And in other years, the guidance counseling that we had was above what was expected by the department formula. So although we are allowing the time that we are allowed in the formula this year, people might find that that's different from last year because we had Mr. Dunphy stationed here, and so it appeared that he was putting in probably more time into these schools than he would have in others. We're supposed to have 0.20 or 0.21 guidance position, and that's being done this year by myself and by Mr. Vatcher, Lou Vatcher. Mr. Vatcher will take care of special needs counseling with students, and I will take care of the other things that students need to see a counselor about.
Okay, what about with respect to Mr. Johnson's position?
Mr. Johnson's position has been advertised. It's been advertised as a full-time position, 0.50 of which is to be in Port aux Basques and 0.50 here. As of today, there have been no applicants, and they've advertised both in the province and out, so that has become difficult. There are just not many trained hearing impaired itinerants around. However, Mr. Doyle is working on our behalf, and he works for school district, but he's in negotiations with the Department of Education, hoping that they will waiver the prerequisites of, for example, having someone who is just hearing impaired trained, but looking for someone who might be special needs trained, who could take on the responsibilities of a hearing impaired itinerant, and thus work with the students here in Burgeo. And so we're hoping that something is going to come through for that in the very near future.
Okay, you mentioned that you have 12 on staff, but are there any courses this year being offered online, as was the case last year?
Yes. We haven't changed our course load that much. Teachers are taking fewer prep periods this year, which helped us to maintain the courses that we had already offered last year and are still offering this year. Now, that doesn't mean that every student gets every course that they want. I followed the same policies we had in other years. I listed courses, and then those that had 4 or 5 in them, 4 or 5 as a number of students who wanted to do it, those courses were deleted, so that we have an average then of about 25 to 30 students in each course. So it doesn't necessarily mean that we offer every course that we want to offer, but then we never do any year. We'll put in music, for example, If there's only 4 or 5 who want music, we take that out, we put in something else until we find a reasonable number, 10 to 15 students who have an interest, and then we leave it. We still have our distance education for the advanced math. We didn't need it this year for the chemistry because the students were accommodated last year, didn't need it this year, and all of the other students are in our regular chemistry class. We did have some students who were interested in doing an advanced French, but there was no one in the district, no other school in the district, who asked for French as a distance education course, and therefore it couldn't be offered by board office. So we've gotten basically what we've asked for.
Okay, I know some concern has been expressed in the community with respect to cancellation of after-school activities while the air quality renovations are being carried out, but the students are still attending school here.
Yes. The cancellation had nothing to do with the air quality per se. When I say that, what I mean is we haven't found any other air quality problems. But basically, what we've asked the workers to do is not to work during school time, so that students don't have to, listen to the noise of regular renovations that occur in those types of situations. So basically, the school is closed, not because of the air quality, but to ensure that the workers have enough ample space and, freedom to do the work as quickly and as efficiently as they can.
Okay, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, I don't think so, David. We are going ahead the same as we did in other years, working out our timetable. There are a couple of policies that we're looking at that parents should be aware of. One of them is with transcripts. Students have to take responsibility for the marks that are sent in on their transcripts or any errors that might occur. Errors in transcripts is not uncommon. Errors in university transcripts are not uncommon. But it is the student's responsibility to look at their transcripts as soon as they come out, find out what courses have not been reported or any marks that are in error, and then come to the office to get those marks taken care of. And then what happens is once we send in an error, the Department of Education sends out a new transcript. And students are responsible for ensuring that that happens. If they don't get a transcript, if they don't have courses on their transcript that they're supposed to have, they're supposed to come to us as soon as possible so that we can make the proper corrections. And this year we will be putting a policy in place. All supplementary exams, once they're corrected, will be held for 1 year in the school. So if we write a supplementary now in September, that supplementary exam will be here in the school until the next September. If a student comes to us after that and says, I wrote an exam a year and a half ago and I didn't get a mark for it, then they won't be able to get it unless they have some proof that it is there. So we're saying that we will ensure that any marks and supplementaries that are written are put in a secure place for 1 year. If within that year then there's a mistake, then students can come to us and say, oh yes, I've written that supplementary and we should have it on file. And then if it's not there in file, it would be questionable. So we are putting a timeline in place for that to ensure that people can't come back 2 years later and say, but I didn't get a mark for this course. I mean, unless they have proof of that from a report card we've given them or from a copy of an exam that we have in the school, then we will not be able to report the mark. So that is one policy that will be in place this year that is different from other years.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for updating us.
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
Stay with us for Off the Rack, community events, and the BBS Playbill. All that after this.
In grassroots work, there are no quick fixes. It's a process that begins with listening, exchanging ideas, and working together to solve problems. In Mali, people know what they and their sensitive desert ecology need. Together with USC Canada, they're coming up with solutions like small-scale irrigation systems, market gardens, and locally adapted seeds. Be part of the process. USC Canada, 56 Spark Street, Ottawa.
Off the rack. The Sea Cadets held their opening meeting for this year on Wednesday evening. This week, as we scanned our tape racks, we came across a video of the annual inspection of our CSCC Bob Bartlett from a few years ago. Here's a look back now 11 years to April 1997.
Good evening and welcome to the community event segment of tonight's broadcast. I'm Rhonda Green. The Brightside Youth Center will remain closed until hair quality renovations have been completed at St. John Central High. You will be notified of the reopening date on this channel. The Brightside Youth Committee will be collecting recyclable goods on Monday evening at 6 o'clock p.m. If you would like to donate your recyclable goods to the local youth committee, please call Ada at 886-3353 to have your name added to their recycling list. The Alternative Measures Program is looking for new members. If you would like to become involved in offering our youth a fresh start, please call Grace at 886-2117 or Trudy at 886-2566. The driving examiner will be in Burgeo on Wednesday, September the 16th, to do written and road tests as well as photo IDs. For fun, friendship, and adventure, come along and join the Girl Guide movement. All girls ages 5 to 15 are welcome to join. Registration will take place on Monday, September the 14th at 6:30 p.m. in the parish hall. You have until September 25th to pay your fees. Come along and start a friendship. Held Out learners have reminded that the Held Out Drop-In Center reopen on September the 1st. If you are interested in completing ABE courses, call the high school at 886-2590 or drop by to the center. If your group or organization has an upcoming event plan, we will be happy to advertise it for you. You can contact the BBS office by Wednesday of each week to have items included in this portion of our broadcast. That concludes the community event segment of tonight's program. See you next week.
BBS Playbill. Tune in on Monday at 7 p.m. for backcountry hiking. Join us on Tuesday at 7 p.m. for Coming Back Alive, a video on boating safety and survival. On Wednesday at 7 p.m. we'll have a video entitled The Woodland Moose. On Thursday at 7 p.m. we'll have another wildlife video entitled Canada Goose. Join Pansy and the gang for 2 stories of craft and lots of fun Saturday morning, 11 a.m. on the season premiere of Pansy's Garden. And I'll be here again next week with This Week in Review. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.